Elizabeth Taylor history. Elizabeth Taylor was a British-American actress, businesswoman, and humanitarian. Here are some key highlights from her life and career. Taylor was born on February 27, 1932 in Hampstead, London, England. Her parents were Americans living abroad at the time. Taylor's family moved to the United States when she was 7 years old, and she soon began appearing in films. She received critical acclaim for her role in National Velvet 1944 at the age of 12. Taylor became one of Hollywood's most popular and bankable stars in the 1950s and 1960s. Some of her most famous roles include Giant 1956, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof 1958, and Cleopatra 1963. Taylor won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress, for her roles in Butterfield 1960 and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf 1966. Taylor was known for her striking beauty and was considered a fashion icon. She had a close relationship with the jewelry company Cartier and owned many famous pieces, including the 33-carat Krupp diamond. Taylor was a passionate advocate for AIDS research and founded the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation in 1991. She was also a longtime supporter of other charitable causes, including children's hospitals and the Israel Defense Forces. Taylor was married 8 times, including twice to actor Richard Burton. Their tempestuous relationship was the subject of much media attention and speculation. Taylor passed away on March 23, 2011 at the age of 79. She left behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest stars and most generous humanitarians. Taylor's personal life was often the subject of media scrutiny, and she was known for her many high-profile relationships with actors and other celebrities. Some of her famous ex-husbands include Conrad Hilton Jr., Eddie Fisher, and Senator John Warner. Taylor was one of the first celebrities to be involved in perfume and fashion branding. She released several successful fragrances and launched her own line of clothing and accessories. Taylor was a lifelong advocate for civil rights and was especially involved in the fight against racial discrimination in Hollywood. She refused to appear in films that perpetuated negative stereotypes about African Americans. Taylor was a close friend of Michael Jackson, and she was one of the few people who stood by him during his 2005 trial for child molestation. She attended many of the trial's proceedings and even testified on his behalf. Taylor's passion for philanthropy extended to her work as an activist for HIV/AIDS research. She helped raise millions of dollars for the cause and used her fame to bring attention to the disease during a time when it was still heavily stigmatized. Taylor was an animal lover and dedicated much of her time to animal welfare causes. She helped establish the American Foundation for AIDS Research's Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, which provides support to organizations working to prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS in both humans and animals. Taylor's impact on popular culture extended beyond her film and philanthropic work. She was known for her glamorous style and her bold makeup looks, which have continued to influence fashion and beauty trends to this day. Taylor had a lifelong battle with scoliosis, a curvature of the spine, and underwent several painful surgeries to correct it. She often wore back braces to support her spine, but refused to let the condition slow her down. Taylor was a talented painter and sculptor and often gave her artwork as gifts to friends and family. Some of her pieces have been exhibited in galleries and museums around the world. Taylor was one of the highest paid actresses in Hollywood during her heyday, and her career spanned more than 5 decades. She appeared in over 50 films, including A Place in the Sun 1951, Giant 1956, and Suddenly, last summer 1959. Taylor was a lifelong friend of fellow actress and icon, Marilyn Monroe. They met early in their careers and bonded over their shared experiences in the film industry and their struggles with fame and personal relationships. Taylor was a close friend of former First Lady Nancy Reagan and supported her husband, President Ronald Reagan, during his political career. She also had close relationships with other political figures, including former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. Taylor's humanitarian work extended to her involvement with the United Nations. She was appointed a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador in 1985 and worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the needs of children around the world. Taylor's final film role was a voiceover for the character of Maggie Simpson in the 2010 episode of The Simpsons titled 4 Great Women and a Manicure. The episode paid tribute to several iconic female figures throughout history.